14 things to know before you buy Nightingale. Amongst the most anticipated games of 2023 is Nightingale, a survival adventure from new studio Inflexion Games. It's entering early access on the 22nd of February, so providing you have a PC powerful enough, you can partake in the playtest and help the studio deliver the most fulfilling experience when the game releases in full. Here's 14 things you need to know in the meantime. It's a PvE open-world crafting game. Nightingale is a steampunk-adjacent open-world fantasy adventure where Victorian-era humans survive within a wilderness stalked by all manner of horrific creatures. Their long-term aim is to reach the last bastion of humanity, Nightingale City, but to get there players must survive day to day by building shelters, scavenging for resources, and crafting tools and equipment. The action is first person, which should provide a nice level of immersion when chopping wood, gathering food, and fending off hordes of nasty monsters. The game can be played solo or co-op. PvE obviously means players won't be pitted against each other to survive. Instead, Nightingale encourages players work together to build fortresses, share resources, travel through realms, and generally tame the wilds as one singular unit. It's worth pointing out though that multiplayer is not a forced option, with developer Inflexion Games on record stating it's perfectly viable to complete Nightingale solo. The setting. Our top hat-clad humans inhabit a sprawling network of interconnected realms alongside the mythical Fae. In Nightingale's alternate reality, humanity has its own realm, a relatively safe space compared to the Fae realms which they now find themselves trapped. See, coexisting with the magical Fae has served humanity well, with them learning to know how to use magic, and thus creating their magical city of Nightingale, but a cataclysmic event known as the Pale has rendered their home uninhabitable. Those humans who attempted to escape now find themselves dotted throughout the universe, each disparate tribe clinging on to survival in the hopes of one day getting back to Nightingale City. Players travel between realms. The most unique thing about Nightingale is the ability for players to traverse through a diverse network of realms via portals. Starter realms won't contain everything a player needs to survive, thus they have the ability to generate entirely new realms, the contents of which can be manipulated via the use of realm cards, which we'll explain in greater detail in the next entry. Progression through Nightingale hinges on the resources, materials, and secrets discoverable in multiple realms, so it's useful to get a firm understanding of how the realm card system works, else players may end up doomed inside the complex realm network without the means to survive. Realm cards. In essence, realm cards are craftable items which players use to generate new realms that can be freely traveled into via Nightingale's portal network. Combining realm cards determines the type of world players create, and there are 3 types of realm cards at their disposal. Biome cards will influence the overall vibe in an environment, be it forest, swampland, etc. Major cards will determine the contents of such realms, be it an influx of hostile creatures or a valuable resources to farm. Minor cards add changes to the weather, season, time of day, and other less consequential aspects. Biome cards appear to be the only required card to generate a new realm. It's unclear how much of an importance major and minor cards will have, barring contributing to the realm's overall flavor. Survival mechanics. Hunting and gathering are the bread and butter of survival games, and there'll be plenty of that to sink your teeth into in Nightingale. Integral to constructing small-scale domiciles, larger townships, and vast settlements will be chopping trees, gathering wood, mining stone and ore. Food must be caught and cooked, weapons, tools, and realm cards must be crafted, the latter of which requires paper and ink to make. All this domestic busywork sits alongside the overarching threat of attack from minor enemies and colossal bosses. These mechanics are familiar to anyone who's played through other survival games such as The Forest, but the monster designs here are some of the most imaginative yet seen in video games. Modular base building. Akin to survival RPG's Valheim, Nightingale features a modular base building mechanic, whereby walls, floors, stairs, roofs, windows, etc. can be freely placed wherever the player wishes. As is the preference for multiplayer, players can form settlements together, fostering communities that build vast interconnected encampments, fortified in tandem to better survive the potential onslaught of nefarious creatures stalking the landscape. PvE overview. Yes, as already mentioned before, Nightingale can be completed solo without any interaction with other players, although it's expected this will make for a more challenging experience. Instead, multiplayer is encouraged, with servers able to host up to 10 players. Players can traverse through the portal network together too, with teams able to transport each other to realms they've created even if their counterparts haven't crafted the necessary realm cards themselves. Combat overview. Combat in Nightingale takes the form of partial melee, partial gunplay, with all manner of flintlocks, shotguns, muskets, and pistols at a player's disposal. Presumably, these weapons will be craftable too, and will improve to be basically invaluable in the inevitable face-to-face encounters with the realm's mystical fey creatures. There's also an extra threat which players will have to contend with, known as the Bound, with these described as incursions by the twisted fey mimicries of humanity by Inflexion Games. Respite realms. In Nightingale, players can designate one particular location as their respite realm. This place will be the location players respawn should they die, and will likely be the place they'll begin to reconstruct their domiciles after everything is lost, potentially. We say potentially as it's unclear if resources can be stored in respite realms, but it makes sense if they were. Plus, the function of respite realms could be greater than simply a place to start again, as without dedicated servers, respite realms might be the only way players can invite their friends to partake in the adventure together. We'll see how this pans out once Nightingale enters its early access phase. At present, dedicated servers haven't been confirmed, but knowledge gained from player feedback will likely influence Inflexion Games going forward. Inflexion Games overview. So who are Inflexion Games, you might be asking? Well, they're a new outfit comprising former devs from BioWare. They're a 100-strong Canada-based team with BioWare veteran Aaron Flynn at the helm. BioWare, as you surely already know, are famous for creating much-loved Mass Effect, and whilst the mashed-up Victorian steampunk aesthetic represents a departure from Flynn's prior experience, it presents an opportunity for the veteran team to spread their wings on something novel. Made using Unreal Engine 5. Yes, Epic's state-of-the-art game engine is becoming more commonplace, with Nightingale amongst a growing number of games crafted with its innovative technology. Dynamic global lighting, tactile surface textures, and real-time particle destruction are just some of the features we expect to see embedded into Nightingale's graphic and technical prowess. PC system requirements. At present, Nightingale is Windows only, with the game playable in early access on PC via purchase through Steam or the Epic Game Store. There's potential for it to land on consoles in the future, but for now, you'll need a PC equipped with a minimum 3 GHz quad-core CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or AMD RX 580 GPU, Windows 10 64-bit, and 100 gigs of storage to play. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on GamingBolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.